When Toyota was making its hybrid technology even stronger, and Tesla was pushing the whole world rapidly toward EVs. At the same time, one company was quietly working on both paths. BYD was not just focusing on the electric future. Instead of abandoning its old engine technology, it kept upgrading it, continuously refining it and making it better over time. In 2025, BYD took exactly this step. It introduced a turbocharged boxer engine that is so compact, smooth, and powerful that engineers around the world are trying to understand how this is even possible. This is not just about horsepower or range. This is a direct challenge to the entire EV industry, especially at a time when the world is moving away from combustion engines. Can this engine completely change the way we think about the future of cars? Until now, it was believed that innovation in internal combustion engines was almost finished. Most major car makers had already placed their future bets on batteries and electric motors. They had shifted their engineering teams and moved their focus towards software and battery cells. That's when BYD, the Chinese giant that is already ahead of Tesla in global EV sales, revealed a secret project that no one was expecting. A completely new turbocharged boxer engine, specially designed for its new high-end plug-in hybrid car. Within no time, it created a wave across the engine world. Now, the biggest question is, what kind of technology has BYD used in this engine? And how can it shake the entire car market in the coming time? To understand this in detail, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Before understanding that new turbo boxer engine of BYD, let's first understand BYD's market. Because honestly, this company is not just building an engine. It is preparing to change the entire game. Today, BYD is no longer a small company. A few years ago, people used to think it was limited to China. But now, the situation has completely changed. BYD has become one of the fastest growing EV and hybrid car companies in the world. Around 2023 to 2024, BYD sold more than 3 million vehicles globally. And the most important thing is that this growth is not limited to China. It is expanding rapidly in international markets as well. Every year, its global presence is increasing. BYD has built a stronghold in markets like Europe, Southeast Asia, Australia, the Middle East, and Latin America. If we talk about outside China, BYD is exporting hundreds of thousands of vehicles every year. In 2023 alone, and it exported around 200,000 to 300,000 vehicles. And this number is growing even faster in 2024 to 2025. In countries like Thailand, Brazil, India, Germany, and the UAE, BYD is opening its factories and showrooms. The message is clear. BYD is no longer just a Chinese brand. It has become a true global player. The most interesting part is that BYD's beginning was very simple. In 1995, the company started as a battery manufacturer. At that time, no one imagined that it would one day compete with giants like Tesla and Toyota. But BYD followed a smart strategy. First, become strong in batteries, then use that same technology in cars. Today, BYD makes its own batteries, its own motors, and assembles its own cars. This is called vertical integration, and this has become its biggest strength. Now the question is, what kind of vehicles is BYD focusing on the most? The simple answer is mass market and hybrid future. BYD is not just focusing on luxury EVs. It is building cars that an average person can afford. Its lineup includes everything from small hatchbacks to SUV, sedans, and luxury models. But the real game lies in its plug-in hybrid PHEV technology. BYD's hybrid cars work on a different level. They are not just about saving fuel. They try to deliver a pure EV-like experience, electric mode for short distances, and engine backup for long drives. That's the reason why in countries where charging infrastructure is still not very strong, BYD's hybrid cars are becoming extremely popular. Apart from this, BYD is also far ahead in electric buses and commercial vehicles. In many cities around the world, BYD's electric buses are already running. This gives the company a strong position, not just in passenger cars, but also in the public transport segment. Now comes the competition. Tesla is focused purely on EVs, while Toyota is considered the king of hybrid technology. But BYD is choosing the middle path, both EV and hybrid, and that is exactly why it is becoming a headache for both of these companies. What is a boxer engine? First of all, what exactly is a boxer engine? Because even the name sounds a bit different. In a normal engine, what happens? All the pistons move up and down in a straight line. But in a boxer engine, the story is a little different. Here, the pistons are placed opposite each other, meaning one piston comes from the left and another comes from the right, and both move at the same time, just like two people boxing. That's why it is called a boxer engine. Now, what is the benefit of this? The biggest advantage is balance. Because when one piston moves in one direction, the other moves in the opposite direction, which almost cancels out the vibrations. This means the car runs much smoother. The engine shakes less, and the overall driving feel becomes very stable. That's the reason why cars with boxer engines often feel more planted on the road, especially at high speeds. The second thing, its center of gravity is quite low. Because the engine is flat, it spreads out horizontally and is not bulky upward. This improves both the car's balance and handling. When you take corners or drive at high speed, the car stays more in control. Now, you might be thinking, if it's so good, then why doesn't every company use it? Here comes the other side. A boxer. Engines are a bit complex to build. They take more space, and maintenance can also be a little tricky. That's why not every company invests in this design. But there are some brands that have made it their identity, like Porsche. Porsche uses boxer engines in its sports cars because they want smoothness, balance, and performance all together. Their cars are known for high speed and sharp handling, and the boxer engine fits perfectly into that. Now, till here, you understood what a boxer engine is. But now, BYD comes in with its own turbo boxer engine. This new turbo boxer engine from BYD is not just repeating an old concept. It is an attempt to take it to the next level. First, let's talk about its compact design. Traditional boxer engines are usually a bit large and wide. But BYD has tried to make it more compact so that it can easily fit into hybrid cars. That means more work and less space. This is the biggest goal of modern automotive engineering. Now comes turbocharging. The simple meaning of turbo is pushing extra air into the engine to get more power. When more air and fuel enter, combustion becomes stronger and power output increases. BYD has combined a turbo with its boxer engine, which makes this engine quite powerful despite being small. But it's not just about power. Smoothness is also maintained, because the boxer layout itself reduces vibrations. And when it is combined with modern tuning and software control, the driving experience becomes very refined. This means you get both power and a smooth ride together. In normal engines, sometimes power comes suddenly or you feel lag. What especially in turbo engines? But BYD has tried to make the power delivery linear and smooth so that the driver feels more control. Especially in a hybrid setup where the engine and electric motor work together, smooth power delivery becomes very important. That's why this turbo boxer engine from BYD is not just an engine. It is a part of a complete system. It will work together with an electric motor, giving you electric driving for short distances and engine support for long distances. Hybrid and engine combo strategy. Now, the real game starts here because this engine is not built to work alone. BYD's real plan is to combine it with a plug-in hybrid system, meaning the engine and battery will work together. In simple words, this is a setup where the car has two hearts, one electric motor and one engine. For short distances, and the car runs completely in electric mode. That means daily office runs, city driving, no fuel burning, no noise, just a pure EV-like experience. But as soon as you need long-distance travel or more power, the engine automatically activates. Now, here comes the biggest advantage. Range. In a pure EV, what is the biggest tension? What if the battery runs out? Will you find a charging station or not? This is the exact problem that a hybrid system solves smartly. When the battery gets low, the engine instantly provides backup. That means no need to stop, no tension of finding a charger. The car just keeps going. On the other side, performance also becomes very strong. When both the engine and electric motor work together, their power combines. The electric motor gives instant torque, meaning the moment you press the accelerator, you get quick pickup, and the engine keeps delivering steady power, maintaining strength and stability during long drives. Together, they create an experience that neither a pure petrol car nor a simple EV can fully deliver. Now, imagine how interesting BYD's turbo boxer engine becomes in this setup. A boxer engine is already smooth and well-balanced, and when it is paired with a hybrid system, vibrations feel even lower. That means the car feels more refined, less noise, less jerks. Another big advantage is efficiency. A hybrid system uses fuel very smartly. In the city, most of the work is done by the electric motor, which saves fuel. On highways, the engine plays its role where it is more efficient. This means better overall mileage and lower running costs. And this is exactly where BYD starts looking different from other companies. Tesla is fully focused on EVs, where charging infrastructure is very important. On the other hand, Toyota is strong in hybrids, but BYD is trying to combine both at a new level. More range, more flexibility, and less tension. So, then, when the whole world is running behind EVs in 2025, why did BYD bet on a boxer engine? The answer is hidden in BYD's new luxury flagship sedan, Yangwang U7. This is not a car stuck in old thinking or outdated technology. Instead, it is a strong example of new and advanced ideas in modern mobility. Some of its variants are fully electric, while others combine engine and electric power in a way rarely seen before. For its plug-in hybrid car, BYD's engineers started everything from scratch, and their goal was to build an engine that is lightweight, takes less space, and works efficiently with an electric motor, while still being smooth, quiet, and efficient. The numbers are impressive, too. The new turbocharged Boxer 4 engine is 2 liters and produces around 268 horsepower, putting it on par with much larger engines. And the special part is that this engine is even slimmer than the latest flat 4 engines from Porsche, which are considered a global benchmark for this design. Achieving this required new engineering, new materials, and a completely fresh way of thinking about engine design. But BYD's focus was not limited to power alone. In a luxury sedan like the U7, comfort is equally important. That's why engineers paid special attention to noise and vibration by fine-tuning everything from engine mounting to sound control for months. The final result is quite surprising. This flat 4 engine produces just 1 decibel more noise than the full electric version of the same car. For people who understand boxer engine sound, this feels almost like magic. It delivers a new level of smoothness and silence, yet still keeps the feel and character that only a real engine can provide. BYD did not choose a turbocharged boxer engine just to look different or bring back nostalgia. There is a direct connection between this decision and the design of its hybrid system. Usually, most plug-in hybrid cars use inline or V-type engines, which are tightly packed with the battery and motor. But the U7 takes a different approach. Here, the engine is placed directly above the powerful front electric motors. But this saves space, improves the car's balance, and makes the entire system more efficient. This is a perfect example of smart packaging. Nothing here is wasted. Every small component either helps improve performance or adds to comfort. And its impact is not limited to just power and smoothness. It is clearly visible in the range as well. BYD claims that the plug-in hybrid U7 can run for more than 600 miles on a single fuel fill and charge. At a time when EV buyers are constantly worried about range, this number is not just for show. It can become a real game changer, especially in places where charging infrastructure is still not fully developed. Another interesting thing is that this engine does not directly power the wheels. In what is called an extended range electric vehicle (ERV) setup, the Boxer engine's job is to generate electricity for the battery, and then that battery powers the motors. The advantage here is that you get the instant torque, quick response, and smooth acceleration of a fully electric car, while still having the backup of a petrol tank for long distances. There is no hassle of gear shifting, no complex transmission, just a simple and reliable coordination between petrol and electric power. The Yangwang U7 is not the only major model in BYD's premium lineup, but it is probably the boldest. It is part of the same series that includes the U9 supercar, known for its advanced suspension, and the Yangwang U8 SUV, which surprised people with features like floating on water and turning on the spot. Even then, the real attention grabber is this small, compact, and highly innovative Boxer engine, or which could become a major talking point in the automotive industry in the coming years. Engineers from major car companies in Europe and America are quietly keeping an eye on this and, at the same time, learning from it internally. In an industry where it had started to feel like the era of petrol and diesel engines was almost over, BYD has shown that there is still room for new experiments, new technology, and a new kind of hybrid, one that does not force the driver to choose between performance and range. This is a clear signal for those who believed that the future of cars would be decided only by silicon and lithium. The launch of the U7 plug-in hybrid feels like the beginning of a new era in automobile design. It is the kind of move that can create a stir in every major boardroom, from Stuttgart to Detroit. If a Chinese company can challenge Porsche in engineering and compete with Tesla in sales, then the real question becomes, who will actually control the future of driving in the coming time? And what will happen when other companies start trying to reach a level that was once considered almost impossible? When hybrid technology stops being a compromise, that's when real change begins. And BYD's Turboboxer is pointing exactly in that direction. For a long time, the word hybrid itself meant compromise. People were told to choose either power or mileage, either excitement or responsibility. Hybrid cars were considered sensible, but they lacked the excitement that makes driving special. They were mostly for those who valued saving fuel more than thrill. The industry also accepted this thinking and built millions of cars that were reliable, but not exciting. Roads slowly filled with vehicles that all felt the same. Then EVs arrived, promising a future with no compromises. But as that future started to look clearer and better, new tensions also began to appear. Range anxiety, lack of charging infrastructure, and somewhere a feeling that something important was still missing in the driving experience. This was the background on which BYD quietly prepared its big move. The Yangwang U7 Turboboxer Hybrid came forward as a direct answer to all those doubts. This car did not remain limited to just a press release. The moment it arrived, it created a wave across the entire industry, like a sudden shock. At first glance, everything looks quite simple. A turbocharged flat-4 engine, just 2 liters, neatly fitted inside a large luxury sedan. On paper, since numbers may not look extremely shocking, but the real story is hidden behind it. To understand the full impact, it is important to see how this engine works with the rest of the car's system. BYD's engineers clearly understood that fitting an engine into today's hybrid systems is not easy. The engine, motor, battery, and control unit all compete for the same space, which makes the design complicated and increases weight. But the Boxer engine has a unique advantage. It is thin, wide, and naturally balanced. That's why it can be easily fitted lower in the car, creating a solid base for the U7's advanced suspension and heavy battery pack. Instead of clashing with the electric system, it works together with it. And this is what makes the car's balance and stability even stronger. EV limitations. Where did BYD identify the problem? I know the real point starts from here. Because EV may sound like a future technology, but the ground reality is not that simple. And this is exactly the gap that BYD identified first. Look, the biggest problem with EVs is charging time. What happens in a petrol car? In 5 minutes, the tank is full and you are ready to go. But in an EV, it can take anywhere from 30 minutes to 1 hour. And if you don't find a fast charger, it can take even longer. Now imagine you are on a highway and in a hurry. This waiting turns into frustration. The second big tension is range anxiety. That constant thought in your mind, what if the battery runs out? Will I find a charger ahead or not? Especially in countries where the charging network is not that strong yet. In regions like India, Southeast Asia, and Africa, this problem feels even more real. And the third issue is infrastructure. To properly run EVs, you need a complete charging ecosystem, fast chargers, strong grid support, and a maintenance network. But in many parts of the world, this is still in the developing stage. That means EV is technically the future, but not fully practical everywhere yet. And this is where BYD made a smart move. It thought, until the infrastructure becomes perfect, why not create a solution that gives the benefits of both worlds? This is where the hybrid and updated engine strategy comes in. BYD focused on plug-in hybrid cars, where both battery and engine are present. You can cover short distances in electric mode, completely silent, zero fuel usage. But the moment you need long-distance travel or face an emergency, the engine instantly provides backup. See, that means no range anxiety and no charging tension. Now, let's talk about cost, because this is the real game changer. In a pure EV, the most expensive part is the battery. Bigger battery means higher cost. That's why EV cars are often expensive. But in a hybrid, the battery is smaller because the engine already acts as a backup. This reduces the overall cost. Now, think about the impact in developing countries. People there focus on practical things, range, cost, and maintenance. If they get a car that gives EV-like mileage, also has petrol backup, and still stays within budget, obviously, they will move towards that option. That's the reason why BYD's hybrid cars are becoming popular so quickly in many countries. They are targeting those markets where EVs are not fully ready yet, but people still want to upgrade. And here, between Tesla and Toyota, BYD is creating a different path. Tesla is talking about a pure EV future. Toyota is already strong in hybrids, but BYD is combining both to offer a more practical solution. Germany, Japan, America, silent reaction. Now, let's talk about its impact on the global market. Because this move by BYD is not just a strategy of one company, it has the potential to shake the entire auto industry. Until now, the global narrative was clear. Future means EV. Tesla had become the face of this race, and almost every major company was running in the same direction. But the moment BYD started strongly pushing the hybrid and advanced engine path, the game began to shift. The first impact is on perception. Earlier, Chinese cars were often seen as cheap or copy products, but now the situation is reversing. But brands like BYD are bringing real innovation, battery technology, hybrid systems, and now things like the turbo boxer engine. This has sent a strong message globally that China is no longer just a manufacturing hub, but is becoming an innovation hub as well. The second big impact is on competition. European companies, especially German brands, are now quietly studying BYD's technology. They may not say it openly, but internally, testing, benchmarking, and analysis are happening. Japanese companies, which were already confident in hybrids, are now seeing that BYD is pushing the same concept even further. And in America, too, engineers are trying to understand how BYD is growing so fast. The third impact is on the pricing war. BYD's biggest strength is delivering more value at a lower cost. Because it makes its own batteries, it builds its own components, and controls its entire supply chain. It can sell cars at lower prices. When one company enters the global market with aggressive pricing, it puts pressure on others to adjust their prices as well. This leads to more options and better deals for consumers. But for companies, it becomes a challenge how to maintain profit margins, especially for traditional automakers whose cost structures are already high. Now, the most interesting impact is on EV strategy. Tesla is fully dependent on EVs. If the market shifts even slightly toward hybrids, it can become a warning sign for Tesla, because players like BYD are giving customers a middle option, neither fully EV nor fully petrol. For Toyota, this situation is mixed. On one side, BYD is validating their hybrid concept, but on the other side, where it is pushing the same idea in a more modern and aggressive way. The fourth major impact will be seen in developing markets. In regions like Asia, Africa, and Latin America, EV adoption is still slow, mainly due to infrastructure issues, but hybrid cars fit perfectly there. BYD is entering these markets rapidly, and if it builds a strong presence, it can turn into long-term dominance. And this is the most important point: early advantage. The company that builds trust in developing markets today will become the leader tomorrow. BYD is doing exactly that, slowly expanding its presence across every region. BYD is not just selling cars. It is trying to change the direction of the global auto industry. It has raised a new question. Is the future only EV, or is a mix of hybrid and engine more practical? So, the impact on the global market is not limited to sales numbers. It is about changing the mindset. And now, the biggest question is, will other companies adopt BYD's approach, or will they stick to their old strategies? Because if the mood of the market changes, the balance of the entire industry can change as well. If you want to watch more powerful videos like this, then subscribe to the channel. Press the bell icon and get the latest updates first. Don't miss out.